Aquarius moon right there. Pisces moon, Pisces people are the most sensitive of all the moons. Not as sensitive in the same way that Cancerians feel things very personally. They'll feel a whole lot of emotions and take them very personally. Not in the same way that the Scorpio will feel the extreme of emotion and go right into it, understand it, also in some way take it super personally. But the Pisces moon will just feel, feel just everything in a way that feels out of reach. Not being able to fully understand where emotions are coming from, what's my emotions versus their emotions. There is just they they just feel so much, and with this feeling can come from and just general sensitivity. Um, yeah, it can really overwhelm the personality in ways, depending also on chart position and other aspects made. But the Piscean temperament by nature is that one just wants to escape from the realities, and the realities being the maybe less positive emotions of human experience, less positive thoughts, less positive um, life circumstance. So the Pisces moon has a way of just retreating, just retreating, whether it is through fiction, whether it is through drugs, including alcohol, especially alcohol. Um, Healthy ways of retreating. People that they just have to be in the water all the time, surfing, fishing. Um, People that just need to go out in nature long periods of time and just let it all go, just shake it all off. Just trusting nature and simplicity trusting simplicity simplicity, but also art and the world of art, which isn't necessarily simple. It's authentic and it's raw in a very beautified way. That all things that are going to nurture the Pisces moon. So having a creative outlet, being immersed in art, doesn't have to be cliche, stereotypical beauty. Beauty, raw, authentic, as it is, that kind of beauty, real, like real art. Um, Often, because of the sensitivity, the extent of one's emotional world can be hidden away, can quite often be hidden away from the world, from even close friends to some extent, partners. There can be disclosure, but a lot of the time the overwhelming nature of one's emotional temperament can mean that they don't really sit with certain emotions, or they don't like to focus on it because it already is such a big part of their existence. It's almost like logic, being able to break it down and talk about it doesn't really go hand in hand with how they are with their emotion. That not It's not like it's natural for them to analyze and break it down like people with moons and air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. And it's not like it's easy for them to transmute emotions into action either, in the way that, say, an Aries or a Leo or a Sagittarius moon might. Their way, their way of transmuting is transmuting emotion to a god. I said that really in a way many of you might not take how I mean it. I'm God in the sense of nature, God in the sense of physics, God in the sense of interconnectedness, interconnectedness. Just a God in the sense of immersion into something that is higher than oneself. that is a really healthy way for them to in some ways it's not even escaping anymore, it's transcending. It is being less in this tumultuous pool of emotion and not understanding, into awareness, compassion, seeing things in a way that one knows they are bigger and part of something bigger than oneself. So in some ways, I think of Piscean moons as like the early yogis, early Ayurvedas, early Vedas, really, sorry, early Vedas, in that there was that initial understanding that we are just these little specks in the cosmos. And it doesn't mean that our experience is any more or less than anyone else's, but it is also understanding that we are not, just us as an individual is not it, you know, that we are part of something bigger. And with that kind of humility, one can then, because it can be seen in two ways, that humility can be taken as what's the point? What's the point of this human experience? It's too hard, it's too difficult, like, fuck it. Into a humility that breeds compassion, a humility that brings on a yearning to merge with others and things in a bigger level. So there's definitely two massive ways in which that sense of humility or sense of smallness can be taken. A lot of the Piscean moods can be quite unconscious and subconscious, and because of this, all different types of psychotherapy, different ways of becoming more self-aware, even if it is more felt self-awareness than analytical, just like being in an emotion, just letting it, just feeling that emotion in the body, and learning from it, being educated by these emotions. That is another really healthy way for Pisces, those with Pisces energy, to transcend and to minimize the need to escape. Because at the end of the day, what are you escaping from, and what are you escaping to? Because what comes up must come down. But if you go into it, or at least allow it to feel, it's just washes over. Just washes over you. Also, Pisces moon, a really good bit of advice is kind of Bruce Lee on you here, but to be like water. To be like water. So engage with that essence of you that can just go with the flow, can adapt, can just become anything. Not in a way that you feel unstable or flaky or whatever else it is, but just to become, just to be whatever you need to be in a moment. Terence McKenna is one amazing psychonaut who, with the aid of psychedelics, is plunged into the unconscious mind, or the mind, in ways that becoming aware of the mind's potential in a very artistic, mythological kind of way. And I feel with Pisces moons, the kind of understanding that in just immersing yourself in the unknown, not fearing the unknown, but immersing oneself into the unknown, can really allow one to transcend also, and to just be. But until then, fear is quite possibly an overriding factor in one's life. And feeling bombarded by other people's thoughts, emotions, actions, whatever else it is, can be really overwhelming. So in order to not take on everything in the external world, to just let things wash over and through, that is by far the best bet, in that you're not needing a substance to feel a certain way. You're feeling a certain way just by allowing emotion to be, and then letting it go just as quickly. So meditation, awesome. amazing for Pisces moons. You could say that about every single human on this planet, particularly Pisces moons, or people with a lot of Neptune or a lot of Pisces. Um, Art, allowing yourself to be surrounded by art and to create art. Awesome. Another big, definitely big plus and big necessity for Pisces moons. Visualization techniques with the meditation as well, forgot to add that. So more positive images, not ignoring the negative, not ignoring the things that one doesn't want, but just to maybe focus more on what one does want. Being around water, definitely being around water, especially salt water, definitely helps to just almost purify oneself. And water has always been symbolic of purification. Um, Salt water has that additional element of cleansing as well on a multitude of levels. So, in order for one's emotional health to be a little bit more balanced, being by the water often, so whether it is surfing, fishing, meditating by the water, walking by the water, walking on the beach, um, there's those new what are they called? Where there's no sensors. You're just laying in water in a dark space and just, what is it called? Something deprivation. I'll remember and write it up. But things like this, yeah. Um, so romance as well, having a sense of romance, or whether it is with nature, falling in love with the birds and the sun and the sky, and it doesn't have to be another human, because humans ultimately unpredictable, really unpredictable. Um, as much as one wants to be reliable, life has a thing about it where things just change. So I'm not saying don't connect with other humans. You need that. You need to allow yourself to connect fully to another human being, but as an underlying support, being connected to something more in nature, in by concept, whatever it is, need to have that underlying factor there. So wrapping it up, activities for Pisces moons that are so crucial: the beach, the ocean, actually even eating things from the ocean. If you're not vegetarian or vegan, eating things from the ocean. Art, helping others, developing compassion in whichever way. Um, Dreaming, dancing, theatre, retreating, anything to transform whatever emotions are present into something creative. So creativity, massive, huge. Sleeping is also big, of massive importance for Pisces moons as well. Sleep deprivation will do you no good. It might feel really cool to be all delirious. It's like you're high at some point, but nah. And just be aware of also drug abuse. I'm not saying don't ever smoke weed or don't ever drink, but it can be a weakness for Pisces moons, almost to the point where there is no kind of willpower long term around these things. So sometimes it is best to just avoid them entirely, even if it is for certain phases, to just try it out, see how you go. So yeah, romance as well. Couldn't be just in novels, it can be in, movies. And just to remember that it is like crucial as part of your way of being. Doesn't have to mean that the person in your life will live up to that, but just being aware that you're allowed to have that from somewhere, something. Um, yeah. So I think I've spoken a fair bit now. If you haven't drifted off into daydream land, yeah, just let me know if there's anything else I've missed, or if you want to know about Pisces moons. But yeah, yeah. So anyway, so just self awareness is a massive one, and just peace of mind, because you are really sensitive, and in a beautiful way. Sensitivity is a beautiful thing, just as long as you allow yourself to feel, and allow yourself to feel okay with being sensitive, and then you can be constructive and creative from that. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Bye.